And there's a man who I stand here with today, who is our final speaker, who was the acting attorney general under Donald Trump. He's a man he's smart and strong and loyal and a fighter. Matt Whitaker is somebody who, at any position, you call upon him to serve, and there is no learning curve. He is ready. And the one thing that we all learned from President Trump's first term in office, is that we need to ensure that we have the strongest people at every single position so that they serve this country, this administration, and they get things done. And Matt Whitaker is a man who knows how to get things done. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Matt Whitaker.
Thank you. Thank you. All I can say is preach, Lee Zeldin. Woo, I'm fired up. I'm ready to vote. You know she's not qualified. But you don't even know who I'm talking about yet.
She's not smarter than a fifth grader. That's for sure.
Pennsylvania, I love your spirit. It is the spirit of America. And America is looking to you. You know, Abel talked about, I just want to brag on him a little bit, because California is our biggest state. 1 in 10 Americans live in California. California has the most Republicans of any state, too. And they are voting, but they know that they're counting on others, like my home state of Iowa, like Cash's state of Nevada, and so many other states to carry this over the finish line, because as Abel said to start this off, they've seen the future if we go with Kamala Harris. They know what a disaster that is. Are we going to let that happen?
No!
Who are we voting for? All right, I think there's 5 reasons. 5 reasons as I travel this country. Cash mentioned we were in Georgia on Saturday. I was in North Carolina last week, traveling all over this state. This week, here in Pennsylvania. So excited. There's 5 issues that our fellow American citizens care about, and I bet you might care about them too. First, as a Bible-believing Christian, I think life is on the ballot. And I think Donald Trump is the best candidate to protect the most life in this country. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think the second issue that is important to our fellow citizens, this is no particular order. So when we're done and we're signing the bus and we're meeting each other, don't come up to me and say, you know, your 4th was my 5th and your 3rd was my 2nd. Okay? This is a bit of a Chinese menu. Second issue is border security. Kamala Harris was the border czar, is the border czar, could fix this border problem, could have saved so many Americans from being victims of crimes, including being murdered, if she had just done her job. She does not deserve a promotion. And Donald Trump on day 1 will fix this border. He will build a wall. He'll finish building a wall because he got over 500 miles done. And we will be safe and secure as it relates to our border. I think a closely related issue to that is national security. You know, the world is on fire. Our strongest ally, Israel, is wondering whether the United States of America is going to continue to be with them, because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden can't say that they stand with Israel. And so, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's the war in Ukraine, whether it is the Middle East, whether it is ascendant China, saber-rattling and constantly preparing for war, Donald Trump will make America strong and secure, won't he? And then an issue that I feel very strongly about, and it's directly related to this insecure border, is law and order. I think law and order is on the ballot. You know, as a former prosecutor, as a former U.S. attorney and former acting attorney general, I can tell you I have worked with the men and women in law enforcement to make sure that our country is safe and to make sure its citizens are safe from being the victims of crime. Those folks right now in the White House don't care about the crime situation because they're trying to accomplish a political goal, and they will do whatever it takes to accomplish their political ends. But I'm telling you, when I was at the Department of Justice, Donald Trump sent 3 executive orders to us. He said quite simply, back the blue. And you know what? Do you join me in supporting the men and women of law enforcement? Because it was an honor of a lifetime everywhere I went to shake the hands of police officers and sheriff's deputies and say, we have your back and you have our thanks. And we will return that to the White House when Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are elected. The second executive order was equally simple. It said reduce crime in America. And we have seen a crime rate that is out of control. They lied to us about what it was, and then in the cover of darkness, they changed the internet website that reported these numbers to show that instead of going down 2.9%, violent crime was up 4%. We don't trust these people because, again, you feel it. You know you're not as safe and secure as you were under Donald Trump. And then finally, he said, dismantle these transnational criminal organizations. And those are three noble goals that I expect to get those same executive orders at the Department of Justice when Donald Trump is reelected. Don't you? Because all of those need to happen, and we need to make sure we got the backs of law enforcement. So law and order is on the ballot. And then finally, Monica Crowley said it best. I think the economy is certainly top of mind. It's too expensive. Gas is too expensive. Electricity and energy is too expensive. Food is too expensive. And so it is amazing to me that there is even a choice here for the American people. But I'm here today to join with you in supporting Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. And I know you feel it. You hear every 2 years, this is the most important election of our lifetime. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you feel it this time, don't you? You know this is the most important election. You know that it's not just about the next 4 years. It is about the next generation. Whoever wins this election is going to set the tone, and we may lose this republic. But I am hopeful. I am hopeful, and I'll tell you why I'm hopeful. It's because for 248 years of American history, the strength of America has never been our government. The strength of America has always been its people, and I trust the American people to make the right choice on November 5th. And so now is the time. Cash said it best, mentioned it, he said, get outside your comfort zone, because that is where your unlimited potential is and where our fellow citizens' unlimited potential is. We need to get uncomfortable. We need to do more than we've ever done. And I know so many of you knock on doors or making phone calls or are part of Trump Force 47. And if you're not, sign up for TrumpForce47.com. We would love to have you be a part of this massive turnout machine. Lee has been out there running point on so much of that effort with our allied groups that are just making sure that our gun owners and hunters and Christians and Jews and everyone that agrees with us on these issues is showing up to vote, because I heard some unbelievable statistic about Pennsylvania, and I cannot believe it's true. Tell me it's not true, and tell me it's not going to happen this year. But Republicans who requested absentee ballots didn't return them. Over 100,000 ballots, is my understanding, in 2020 were not returned by our fellow citizens here in Pennsylvania. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to chase every one of those folks down to make sure they get their vote in for Donald J. Trump. And so I conclude with this. When I'm done, we're going to sign the bus, and first we're going to take a family photo of this great Trump family. And what I'm going to say is, may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you so much for being here.